the design industry is changing. So to be open to learning, to be willing to be uncomfortable as
Yeah.
you apply that learning, I think is extremely powerful.
Welcome to Spill the Ink, a podcast by Reputation Inc., where we feature experts in growth and brand visibility for law firms and architecture, engineering, and construction firms. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Calcote King. I'm the host of this podcast, and I'm also the principal and president of Reputation Inc. We're a public relations and content marketing agency for architecture, engineering, and construction firms and other professional services firms. To learn more, go to rep-inc, that's inc with a K.com. So today we're talking about how do you successfully market an architecture firm? What are the firms who are doing it right? What are they getting wrong? And what are some of those behind the scenes secrets to running a well-rounded marketing department, especially at a larger architecture firm? So we're tackling these and more questions in today's episode as part of our series featuring architecture chief marketing officers. Jennifer Haferbecker is joining me for today's episode, and I think I got that name pronounced correctly. She's
Yeah.
the chief marketing officer, and she's a member of the executive team at HGA, which is a national interdisciplinary design firm. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. I'm very excited for our conversation.
I am too. So, well, let's start with tell me how you got here. So, I always love to hear that because when we go into marketing, it's often a very interesting path that gets us there.
Well, I am one of those people. I think the vast majority of professional service and marketing professionals went to college or started on a different journey. I am one of those cases. I actually went to school for nursing.
Oh,
And
wow.
while
That is different.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. While I was in school, I was working full time for a commercial interiors firm. And I made the decision at one point in that journey to switch my major to business.
Oh,
So I
wow.
ended up, I ended up spending 19 years in practice for interiors. I started as a project manager, account manager, led to leadership on the marketing and sales support side. 6.5 years ago, I moved to HGA as their director of marketing. And then a few years later, I became their very first chief marketing officer.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I love
So
to see that obviously this firm really values marketing to have you on the executive committee. Are you the first marketing person to sit in that type of leadership role?
So the person who preceded me at the firm was a vice president of marketing, and at the time, there wasn't really a full communications department. She was a shareholder. She was part of the leadership, but she did not sit as a board advisor. And like I also play the role of sort of executive sponsor to our planning committee through my board advisor role. So she did not have some of those roles, but she was definitely instrumental in paving the way within HGA and really teaching the firm the value of marketing and business development and left me a very strong foundation to jump off of to continue advancing that work.
Yeah, that's great. Kind of paving that way. So
Exactly.
I know this is a very large question, since you're the head of marketing for a very large firm. But can you tell me what is your approach? What's your firm's marketing approach in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, that's a
I
tough
know
one.
I know that's a complex one. So.
Well, I think our approach is, I'm going to say, strategy focused. The firm in the past has always had a very strong entrepreneurial spirit.
Mhm.
Since 1953, we've been really successful by leveraging the expertise and passions to grow the firm. In 2016, under our current CEO, we developed our strategic point of view, articulated our values, and then defined our targeted client. The following years, we did a full rebrand. And then in 2019, we developed a strategic plan. It was really the first time that the firm had articulated goals and initiatives on how to realize that vision. So since then, we've been working to align our planning process at all levels, trying to make sure we're all pointed at the same North Star. And we've been really trying to build some rigor into our marketing analysis and market readiness. So I'd say the strategic planning around a united vision is really what's working. It's really our approach,
Yeah.
as is being people focused.
Yeah.
It's allowed us the ability to really prioritize a list of targeted clients and partners, to identify the caliber of projects that we want to be working on to allow us to have the impact that we desire. And it enables marketing and BD to understand how our markets are changing so that we can prioritize and better position the firm through a deeper understanding. And there's so much change happening economically, social, environmental.
Yeah.
Not only our people internally are facing those challenges, but our clients and communities are as well.
Yeah. So finalizing a strategic plan in 2019 and then being hit with COVID in 2020, how did that impact your ability to kind of continue forward with that strategic plan that was just done when you had such a kind of wrench thrown
Yeah.
into things?
So right now, that plan was a 3-year plan, and we've had it for 4 years because of the
Yeah.
pandemic. So we are
Yeah.
right now in the process of updating it for the next 3 years. So looking back on it, it's amazing how forward thinking we were. We did
Mm.
enter the pandemic with the desire to thrive. We did not want to just survive. So 2022 and 2023 have been record breaking for us in a number of ways. MSR, employee count, recognition, and PR and awards. And that's also one of the biggest challenges because so much has changed, and we've had such rapid growth over the
Yeah.
last few years. It's challenging,
Mhm.
especially on the marketing and business development side. We have so many new people joining the firm. We've been fortunate to be able to promote people within into new roles. And then we have all of these initiatives through equity and sustainability, research, technology. It's harder for marketing and business development to know all of the subject matter experts. Whom within the firm can we best position and connect to clients, how to build the right teams, how to understand the skill set of those new people that you're now going to put in front of a client. Do they know how to message and present? From the marketing perspective, the warp speed that marketing is changing and evolving, it's crazy how there are thousands of new
I
marketing
know.
technologies. Yeah.
I know. Isn't it wild? It's like we just caught up with the last thing and now
I know.
AI came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, and now
Yeah.
you need true strategies for
Mhm.
content and digital account-based marketing.
Mhm.
So and now we have more people to teach inside of the firm about the brand and strategic point of view and marketing process altogether. In some ways, though, it's been amazing to see the change even within the marketing, communications, and business development roles themselves. So those roles are changing as all those processes also change. So
Yeah.
yeah, so as a people focused firm, we really want to stay ahead of how those jobs are evolving so that we can offer training and development. We want our people to be successful. We want them to stay at the firm. So we're really focused on trying to understand how to try to slow some things down in a way that people can learn and have capacity for the amount of change happening.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really important. Yeah. I had read on your LinkedIn profile that HDA had its highest revenue in 2022.
Yeah.
And that year marked your fourth consecutive year increasing marketing ROI.
Yeah.
And I'd love to understand, how do you measure ROI? What are some of the ways that you're reporting back and being able to really benchmark that?
Well, of course, it starts with metrics and an equation on financials. We are an employee-owned firm, so I think the first question to our shareholders is about that investment. If we spend all this money on marketing and overhead in the firm, what is it giving us as
Mhm.
far as MSR? So there's a financial equation, definitely. We've been working very hard over my tenure at the firm to expand that definition of return. We want the impact from the projects. We want to be leveraging our expertise in marketing in a way that puts us in front of the right clients for the right projects, and that we are truly building a brand that is going to last beyond any of us currently at the firm.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about, the legacy of the projects that we have, the impact on communities.
Mm.
We really seriously take the responsibility of designing something right now that will have impact in future generations and impact on the firm. Are starting to shift to understanding, instead of KPIs, we're trying to understand KPQs, key performance questions that can inform
Mm.
those indicators. And we're trying to understand how to better define what impact is
Yeah.
in a number of ways instead of just having financial metrics as that ROI.
Yeah, I love that. Looking at it kind of holistically. I also saw that you have a team of about 40.
Do
Can you give us a sense of what is that? Because I work with a lot of smaller firms, who yeah, 40 people doing marketing. Tell me what those disciplines look like. And are there any is that mix changing in terms of, the skill sets that you're looking for?
For sure. So we have marketing and communications departments. On the communication side, they are national experts that are all specialized in a specific area. So we have a PR director and a PR assistant. We have a creative brand director. We have writers on staff. We recently hired a content strategist to help us, manage all of the content that we have within the firm and elevate it. We have research librarians that sit within communications, and we also have a whole digital team around web, social, and our intranet. On the marketing side, we have a director of marketing and regional marketing managers that are working with our local offices and practices to support their regional goals and building campaigns locally to meet their engagement and to help them be successful. The marketing managers also manage a staff of marketing coordinators that are really focused on producing marketing content specifically.
Yeah.
Within those departments, we recently developed a marketing technology department. So we have a director there who has a team of people that are the experts within all the different softwares. So
Mm.
our CRM, our content asset management platform, our intranet, even the digital person, actually on the communication side reports up to the marketing the marketing technology director. All of those platforms are being updated and changing over the next 3 years. So we wanted to bring that team together to really manage and grow a marketing technology stack that can talk to each other and
Yeah.
really leverage the efficiency of how we're creating and reusing content. Also, we hadn't in the past been great about analytics. We have so much content, but we were really focused on just how to get it out. And then we were on
Right.
to the next thing. So that MarTech stack is really helping us to learn from how we're putting content out so that we can apply it to the next piece in a better way.
Yeah, yeah, that's a common struggle. I think that most people struggle with is that it's so overwhelming just actually getting content right and understanding your customers. Talk about what about the role of research? How does that play a role in your strategy?
So research more and more, like I said, in that market analysis, the market readiness, I would say it's two ways. We do have in the communications department, a knowledge manager and a research librarian. So I forgot to mention on the marketing department size, we are a seller doer model, but we do have dedicated business development professionals. So I
Mm.
have a dotted line to, I think we have 18 of them across the firm. So our business developers are really the ones that are hands-on in research at a number of levels to understand their markets, identify potential clients, qualify those clients. They're tapping our research librarians to help them with that, to dive deeper into clients or selection panels, understanding what's happening in the trends of their market itself. Our research librarian also helps project teams look for code things or changes in materials or a number of ways they can help our projects advance. In-house, we also have what we call our design insight group, and that is a group of PhD researchers, design anthropologists that are doing evidence-based research to help advance design. And
Mm.
we've connected that team with our marketing strategy and our national leaders so that we can identify research that's needed for how the markets are changing for our clients, so we can come to those clients with evidence and proof that design can truly impact and help their business.
Yeah.
So research in a number of ways.
Yeah, I love that. From a high level industry perspective, how would you say marketing for architecture is changing? What are some of the trends that you're seeing impact your work, and how is it changing than, say, how you did things 5 years ago?
Oof. Lots of change.
I know.
I've been doing a lot of recruiting lately. And so I have often told the story that marketing in architecture is really not very old. Marketing was forbidden until the AIA
Right.
changed its ethical standards in 1972. So it's, in a lot of ways, we are still trying to catch up to other
Yeah.
industries. But I do, at the same time, we are really navigating all of the disruptors that others are challenged with. The first big disruptor is that customization, that technology piece. We want to move to a customization of how people engage with us and engage with our content. So you've got account-based marketing in digital experiences that are specific to each person's URL. We're trying to remove boilerplate and move to custom messaging, and then move to new formats of content, including video. So that in itself has really advanced how our marketing coordinators work. And in some ways, that role within our firm has become a unicorn. They have to now know how to write in graphics and technology and EPUBs and all these things, landing pages, that role didn't do even 5-8 years ago. And then we touched on it, the technology disruption around AI and all of the different marketing technologies that we can use. In itself, it's disrupting how we work. And those also require, like I said, our new marketing technology group within the firm. I think I also, as an industry, we are still learning the importance of having a really strong, consistent brand.
Mm,
And we're learning how a really strong brand truly encompasses everything.
mm.
But most importantly, that experience of our clients. So the channels and the format or the language that we use when we talk to a dean of music of a music school
Right.
versus a clinic manager or a developer who wants to build life science or innovation campuses, that the language and those formats might be different. But there really needs to be consistency in our comprehensive approach to design that will lead us to sustainable, resilient, and equitable outcomes that we really want to improve the human experience with and help exceed our clients' goals. So regardless of the project type or the geography or the service, we are really trying to consistently leverage our interdisciplinary expertise, the research that I mentioned, and really engage diverse stakeholders to prove that design can result in better projects and have a more positive impact.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Along the same lines, when you're talking about brand, it reminded me, I also saw when I was doing a bit of research that you had spoken recently about creating brand ambassadors. How do you do that? What are some of the ways that you kind of promote, encourage that and enable that?
I think the rebrand a few years ago definitely helped us with that because we were able to travel throughout the firm and meet with people, especially before the pandemic, and talk about our new strategic point of view, what that was. You share the values and how they were developed and ensure that they truly resonated with everyone. We slowly, through the strategic point of view, started to teach value propositions and how we could use a similar structure in how we tell our stories. So just the education around the brand itself and what brand means, and just empowering people that everyone within the firm has the ability to impact our success and to help the future of the firm. So what does that mean for them in their role, and how can we help them be successful in that? We have a long way to go, especially over the last few years. We recently had a group of leaders. We have an enterprise leadership program within the firm to help train the next generation of leaders of how to run a firm of our size. And they did a research project around brand consistency, the balance of having a national brand versus sort of sub brands that are starting to develop within each of our sectors. And what they learned, even right now, they did a survey asking, I think, 200 people within the firm what our values were. And they ended up with over 100 different responses. So
Yeah.
as we look at this new evolution of our strategic plan, there's a huge opportunity for us to redo that training and get a bit
Yeah.
deeper with everyone around what it is and how to live it authentically.
Yeah. I can see that being kind of such a core step to take, which is educating your internal stakeholders about your brand and really helping them articulate it in a way that makes sense for their particular world.
Exactly.
Because the bigger you get, those worlds are all quite different.
Exactly.
So yeah,
When we
fascinating.
want it to be authentic, I don't.
Hmm.
It's harder, but I don't want to give them a script on because this is what you say about the berm and what it means. I want them to be able to talk authentically about it
Right.
in
Yeah.
their role, and that's harder. It's harder to teach. It's also a bit harder to make sure that they have opportunity to practice within the firm, so that then when they are externally out with others, they can feel comfortable in it.
Yeah. And just from a pure self-interest perspective, since we're a PR agency, tell me about the role of PR in your strategy, and how it weaves in.
So the director of PR that we brought in, I think she's been with the firm now 3 years. So that's another example of how marketing and communications has evolved within the industry. So to have
Yeah.
that in house now, back, I think she's had an amazing impact very quickly because she's an expert in PR.
Yeah.
So to bring that expertise in, we are another example of constant learning and education, teaching people what that means. So
Mm.
very quickly, people point to needing more content out or needing more PR, and we spend a lot of time explaining what PR is, how it works. If we can get to a defined creative brief around content, it'll help us ensure that the level of what we're talking about is to a point that other outlets would want to pick it up and feature it.
Mhm.
If it's something that we want to have control over and be able to publish on our own channels and control the timing of it, then we're going to publish it as a PR or as a blog or an insights post or through different marketing campaign processes. But people don't understand the difference of it.
Yeah.
So it's
You articulated that well, though. Yeah.
yeah. So
Mhm.
it's that in itself has been extremely helpful in setting the right expectations. And
Mhm.
then just the impact of it. We've definitely seen more articles and more features and more clients, the partnerships with clients very early on. So the sooner we can connect our communications teams to clients when we're awarded projects, the stronger those relationships become throughout the project and beyond, because it really helps us with the advocacy after in
Yeah,
the long-term
absolutely.
relationships.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
The other thing I wanted to ask about was professional development. So I saw that you're involved in AIA and SMPS. What are if you're advising your younger team members to, develop, what are some of those resources that you found what the most valuable over your career?
We definitely encourage everyone within the firm, especially the marketing communications BDs, to build a network externally. And that can be overwhelming all in its own. So to start with one thing that they're passionate about, one organization, and when they connect with that organization, to be active in it. Try to be on a committee, try to be part of events and things going on to really build stronger relationships. A lot of the things that I've experienced S&PS, both nationally and locally, there can be very different. So when we talk about professional development, we are really trying to understand what people are driving towards, what is their
Mm.
passion, so that we can find opportunity for them in the right way. We send a lot of marketing coordinators to create Adobe Max conference. We
Mhm.
have a few going out for a conference and AIA in AEC in a couple of weeks. We have a few of our marketing leaders participating in leadership executive training, either through programs or through one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
So, and on the communication side, there's so many different organizations for writers and graphics and PR
I know.
and communications. So it's really about understanding what people want to do so we can align them with the right resource.
Yeah.
I also teach that it might not be the right one, right? Go try it
Mhm.
and see
That's
how
right.
it fits and see how it resonates with you. Even if it's a personal coach,
Mhm.
we might need to try a few until you find something that definitely resonates and you can be comfortable with moving forward.
Yeah, that's smart because you're right. There's so many disciplines, and I'm sure you've got so many specialists, and
Exactly.
it's really important to tailor it to that. So, what would be the most important lesson? And let's think in terms of again, somebody a bit younger in their career, starting out in marketing for architecture. What's the most important lesson you hope they take away from this conversation?
To stay open.
Yeah.
Right. One of the pieces of advice I received way back, I think it was in middle school actually, was from a counselor. And she explained to me that the act of learning is intellectual. There's a method to it, but the experience of learning, applying that knowledge, developing something, trying something new, it's emotional.
Mm,
And that is supposed to be uncomfortable.
yeah.
Because you are trying something new and it's awkward. So that is a lesson that I can apply in every aspect of my life, especially in the marketing realm where we are
Mm,
constantly trying new things. We are learning new technologies and learning new marketing strategies. The design industry is changing. So to be open to learning, to be willing to be uncomfortable as
yeah.
you apply that learning, I think is extremely powerful.
That's so smart. It's similar to what a personal trainer will tell you, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But
Yeah,
yeah, very similar.
exactly. I think also recently there's been too much research that proves that women in particular will hold themselves back. So when a woman is presented with a new opportunity, she'll look at the requirements and will not apply until she can check every single box of that requirement. A lot of women will go back to advance their degrees or they'll go for a certification and that will prolong, their
Right.
growth and also add expense to it. Men, on the other hand, are very comfortable with their ability. And so they'll look at a list of requirements for an opportunity. And if they can check even half those boxes, they'll apply.
Yeah.
I've really been encouraging women in particular, just take your shots.
Yeah.
Like, no
Yeah.
matter what,
You've
you're
got
going
to
to learn
ask.
from it.
Right. Yep.
Exactly. You're going to learn one way or the other. And in that also remember to just celebrate your courage for trying.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I'm sure having someone like you who's elevated to such a high role within the industry, you serve as a great role model for that. So I appreciate that advice. Well, thank you very much. So we've been talking to Jennifer Haferbecker of HGA. If people wanted to connect with you, what's the best place for them to do so?
They can learn about the firm through hga.com. The best way to connect to me is probably LinkedIn. And then my messaging and email is connected there as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's a great
Thank
conversation.
you. Yes, I've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to Spill the Ink, a podcast by Reputation Inc. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.